Welcome to the Omziel Healing Sanctuary, and we're here with another episode, finding out great information and sharing it with you guys. So I have a wonderful guest with me, and he's got some great information to share. So I'll just let him introduce himself.
Hello, peace everybody. My name is Alberto Antomattei, and 29 years old. I live in Montclair, New Jersey, and specialize in film and media production. I have my own business. It's called Step Forward Artistry. I help small businesses and artists and nonprofits to create media assets for their businesses in the form of videos that can be marketed to promote their businesses and their missions. I also do music videos if you're an artist. So anyway, just very happy to be here with Omziel. Thank you for having me today.
Appreciate you, brother.
Yep, sure.
You know, I know I met you at an ice bath, and we seem to have gotten closer, and so close that you're doing some video stuff for us.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you big time, man. But during those
You're
conversations, we started talking about like lifestyle and health and wellness, and then we got into food, veganism and vegetarianism and stuff like that. So I thought it's a wonderful idea for us to get some of this on film, because I know there's a lot of people out there, especially a lot of brothers too, that, you know, they just can't let go of certain things. They just feel that it's just the way it is, and they feel better with that, and it's hard for them to let go of like meat, for instance, and cheese, eggs, milk, and those type of things and stuff like that. So I figured we would just touch on some of that, you know, like how long have you been without eating meat?
Wow. You know what, Omziel? It's been several years at this point. But to be honest, I don't know if I've really been counting the years. I've been vegan now maybe for going on 2 years, probably. But prior to being vegan, I had already given up certain things. I had given up cheese. That was one of the last things I gave up. I had given up red meat a significant amount of time before that. I was still eating chicken. I was still eating, you know, seafood, shrimp. I would eat pork once in a while because, you know, my family is Puerto Rican, so that's a big part of our culture.
Gotta get the pernil and chuleta.
The pernil, especially if my mom would make some pastelillos with, like, you know, crab and shrimp or whatever.
Right.
You know,
I know
was
the
all
deal.
in all the time. And that pernil would come around on holidays, Easter, you know, Christmas, whatever. It was a given. It's automatic.
Yep.
You
Right.
know?
Right.
But I gave up the red meat, and I had given up dairy as well. Like the cheese was I was still eating that, but I gave up milk. I had switched over to almond milk and gave up the red meat many years back, probably has to be over 5 years at this point. But I tried to be vegan the first time was back then, over 5 years ago, and I tried to be vegan. And what I did was I tried to go cold turkey. And so I stopped eating everything, basically. And I was just trying to survive on vegetables, grains, the beans and stuff. And I didn't last for more than probably a month.
Yeah, right.
You know, I came back on, must be like chicken, you know. And I was always a big lover of like fried chicken, you know, which is, now I think about eating fried chicken and it doesn't do anything, the thought doesn't even do anything for me. I had this great attachment to not only that, but other foods. And you mentioned something when you opened the show just a few minutes ago about letting go. For me, that's a big part of it, because you said that people have a hard time letting go, and you're using it in the context of like food, letting go of certain foods. But for me, what I learned is that it goes a lot deeper than that, than just food. It's letting go of anything, really, in general. And what I've come to learn is that I think that we as people, we have these attachments to any and everything, whatever it is, and we just attach ourselves to it so strongly.
Right.
You know, so to let go of things is, I think, is beneficial for any person.
Yeah.
But in terms of the food, let's keep it there before the conversation goes too big. But in terms of the food, you know, I was highly, and I use this term addicted because I think that I was like addicted to cheese. And it, you know, so I've heard that cheese has a protein in it called casein, which is believed to be addictive, or it's also been said, I think, to stimulate the same part of the brain as heroin, or, you know, other forms of
addictive substances.
Yeah, addictive substances.
Yeah. Okay.
I forget the term they used to call those, like heroin and like oxycodone and stuff. There's a term they use for those in general.
Okay.
But so what I learned is that it stimulates the same part of the brain. Not that it's a drug, not that cheese is a drug, but it stimulates that same part of the brain as these drugs do. So, which leads me to believe that maybe it has some addictive properties to, like, why do I always want cheese? Like, I keep coming back to trying to fulfill this craving for cheese.
Sure.
And then it was eggs for me too. How do I let go of eggs? People would ask me, you know, the conversation would come up if I were ever to go vegan, and I would always say, yeah, but I don't know if I could give up eggs though. You know, I don't know if I could give up cheese though. And why was I saying that? Because I'm so attached to it.
Right.
But what I came to learn is that I'm only attached to it because it's what I've known my whole life, what I grew up eating.
Right.
But it doesn't make or break me. It's not what I need to survive.
Right.
If I stop eating it, it doesn't mean life is going to be terrible.
Right.
It doesn't mean I'm gonna be an unhappy person.
Right. Or weak. Yeah.
And if it does do that to me, that's my own psychology working against me.
Right. Yeah, you know, I first thing that comes to my mind is that the game of life really is about brain chemistry. That's what it is. We think it's something else. We think it's money or power or sex or something, but the game really is brain chemistry. But they know that too. That's why they fill our foods with salt, sugar, and oils. They're extremely addictive. Right. They fire off neurons. Sugar fires off the same neurons as cocaine.
Yeah.
It was the first drug.
Yeah.
That's why they had the the sugar wars. Like lots of crops were dedicated just to sugar, and Europe was addicted to it, right? And you spoke about, you know, coming from Puerto Rico. My parents also come from the island of Puerto Rico, and those are filled with what? Sugar cane fields.
Right.
You see? But those particular fields have now moved other places because they can do that cheaper in other countries and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But most people that I am around and they see how I'm eating, they be like, oh man, ooh, I can never eat that. I can never do that. And I tell them, like, I didn't just wake up one morning and decide to eat these types of foods, you know? Right. It took time. Like you said, I was addicted and I was attached to those things. Yeah. Oh no, I was going to the steakhouse. Oh man, the bill was $500 over that, no problem. Oh, great steak and all kinds of different sides and everything, yeah. But I started getting away from that, you know. My wife, she started teaching me more about, you know, how we had spoke before about when cows are herded, cattled into the slaughtering house, where they're going into these metal gates sort of, and then the machine goes on and grabs them very tightly, and they let out a scream like, and then a very pointy, sharp metal object is punctured right into their head and they're killed. So what happens, what I learned is that, and I don't mean to sound so vulgar, I'm sorry, but a chemical is released into their muscles, and then you're eating that also, and that could contribute to the aggression that is going on in our planet, you know? So it just took me time to start with education and getting away from some of those things. So, and now my body's just different too. Like when I smell chicken, like it just doesn't smell right to me.
Yeah.
When I smell milk,
Yeah.
even worse.
Yeah.
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 It's like that,
Yeah.
you know.
I
So-
feel you on that. You know, sometimes someone in my family, like I wake up, like in the morning, and someone's making breakfast, and I smell like bacon sizzling, or sausage sizzling, and just the smell.
Yeah.
It doesn't smell right to me. It smells, and I don't want to say that it's that it's carcinogenic. You know, that it's a carcinogen,
Right,
but
right.
maybe that's me having seen these documentaries where they
Right.
say that this processed meat is carcinogenic. But I've thought to myself, okay, now there's carcinogenic, fumes in the atmosphere
Yeah.
in my home, and I'm
Right,
like, oh
right.
my goodness, but I'm not gonna judge people for eating meat. I
Right.
don't-
Thank
even
you.
though that I'm vegan now, I don't do that. I don't want to do that. I know some vegans do that.
Right.
I
Thank you
don't
for mentioning
believe-
that. I wanted to
Yeah.
stress that too. This is not about bashing
Nah,
anybody.
not at all.
Because if they're doing that, that's fine. That's okay with
Yeah.
them, if it serves them well.
Exactly. I don't judge, especially because I grew up that way.
Mm-hmm.
Some people, that's what they like, that's what they know. That's okay. And I went on Instagram once, and I started I joined a bit of like a vegan community on Instagram, because I started a page where I started cooking like vegan food, just to see, okay, how many different things can I make that are vegan, that look good, that taste good, And I started gaining, like a small base of followers and stuff. But I remember just scrolling one time, and I came across one post where people were arguing about some celebrity who came out in the news that supposedly he was supposed to be vegan, but I guess he made an exception somewhere, so he's not like entirely vegan.
That's funny.
So the people in the comments are arguing about like, well, he's not vegan. If he's not 100% vegan,
Right.
he's not vegan.
Right,
And then
right.
other people are saying, well, if he's 95% vegan and he makes some exceptions here, he's pretty much vegan. And then other people are saying, well, no, there's a difference between vegan and plant-based.
Interesting.
But then they're criticizing this man because they feel that he's not a real vegan.
Right, right.
And that just kind of
Yeah.
turned me off,
Yeah. It doesn't make any sense.
I'm not gonna let it make me angry, because I just feel like people argue over the stupidest things.
Right.
But it just turned me off, and it made me feel like, well, maybe I don't want to be vegan,
Okay.
and I'm still gonna maintain my vegan diet.
Right, right.
But maybe I just don't want to be classified that way, because
Exactly.
it's just another form of separating us.
It is. It is. So,
And yeah,
so something that comes to mind, Alberto, is how about for breakfast? What did you have this morning?
who, me?
Yeah.
This morning, I buy this product called Just Egg, and it's like a plant-based egg product, and it comes like in a bottle, and it looks like eggs when you scramble it,
Right.
like when you beat the eggs, and it turns all yellow
Right.
before
right.
you scramble it.
Right.
That's how it looks. It comes like that
Okay.
in a bottle,
Okay. I've never had it, but I do
Yeah.
know of it.
and you shake it, you
Okay.
pour it right in the pan,
All
and
right.
it scrambles up just like eggs. And I
Okay.
like to make all my food like for the week, so I'll
Right.
cook a whole bottle, but I put a whole bunch of veggies in there, mushrooms,
Good.
broccoli,
Good.
onions,
Yeah. You gotta prep your meals, bro.
Yeah,
if
yeah.
you want to be in the game, I do the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, I prep my meals for the week.
Yeah.
It's smart. Saving time, saving money, saving energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
your health too. You know what you're putting in it and all of that.
Yep.
So you have the eggs beater with what else?
Well, yeah. Today, like I said, I put the veggies in there. Sometimes I put some vegan sausage.
Oh,
Chop up
okay.
the sausage like
Oh.
in rounds. Put it in there. I
All
put
right.
spinach. And then I'm Puerto Rican, so there was some rice lying around in the fridge, some Puerto Rican rice. And,
Mhm.
that's flavorful rice. So I take the rice. I put.
No doubt.
Some people might not like this, but I put a slice of cheese on the rice.
Mm.
Then I put, I heat that up. Then I put
Vegan
the-
cheese.
Yeah, vegan cheese.
Okay.
And then I put the egg after it's cooked right on top of that.
Nice. Nice.
And then I put some beans on some beans on top of that
Yeah.
with some avocado. And then I have
Qué
my little
bueno, qué
bowl
bueno.
of porridge, because I like I make fresh porridge all the time, because I work out and I like to stay healthy, and it's protein and nuts and berries and stuff.
Right, right.
But that was my breakfast today,
That's good.
Sometimes I switch it up. Sometimes I do a tofu scramble. Instead of the plant-based egg, I'll use tofu, and I put something called soy riso, which is like the, chorizo.
Oh,
but made
chorizo?
Yeah,
Oh, wow,
but made
interesting.
from soy.
Okay, okay.
And mix that with the tofu scramble. And I put some turmeric to make it look yellowish.
Right.
It almost looks like eggs,
Right,
Tastes
right.
good, high in protein.
Right.
A lot of veggies in there too,
Right, right. Turmeric too is anti-inflammatory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about you? What did you have for breakfast today?
I usually have a protein shake, which is plant-based, and I try to make it. I try to purchase the one of a high quality, non-GMO, organic. I try, and then lots of different fruits in it. Blueberries, brain food, bananas, lots of potassium. Put some apple in it. Or different fruits depending, strawberries, pineapples, depending what I like. I'll put some chocolate, some cacao nibs. I put walnuts too. Walnuts are brain food also. It makes me think of a great book too of this gentleman. Oh, what's his name? About the memory? He's an Asian brother that he's on Audible too. In fact, I listened to his audio book on that, and about memory. It's the foods that we're eating too, you see? So that would go back to like the aggression or stuff like that. Like it brings us to that vibration, or it can, if you believe or not, to a lower vibration where, instead of high, when you raise your vibration, you're thinking more of like helping people and compassionate more too. So, but anyway, that's what I usually have for breakfast, but I do have steel cut oatmeal sometimes too. Blueberries again, nuts, almonds also. That's a heart, great for your heart and for your high blood pressure and other things. I eat a lot of seeds and nuts, sunflower, you name it. Walnuts and macadamia nuts and fresh fruit, always almond milk. So we switched the kids. I have a 4 and a 6-year-old. So we switched the kids from cow milk to almond milk, and that was a smooth transition. Like they took it up right away. Yeah.
Wow.
I know. I thought it was gonna be like a fight. Like, no, I don't like it. No. Yep. And we sweeten it with honey, and we put sometimes a little sea moss in it for the kids too.
Yeah.
No, we try, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do.
We
do.
They're gonna grow up to be big and strong, right?
For sure. But they follow me, when I do yoga, they're right there, like under me doing stuff, and it's just that lifestyle.
Yeah.
So like you were mentioning before about, we're not here to bash anybody about eating meat and stuff like that. That's great. If that serves you well, that's fine. This just happens to serve me well.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's all it's about.
That's it. How about other people in your household? Are they also eating this, or how's it look? How's it look in the house?
Nobody's vegan. Nobody's vegan but me in the house.
Oh wow.
None of my family's vegan. I'm the only vegan. But actually, you know what? My dad, he's not vegan, but he stopped drinking milk. And he switched over to almond milk.
Good.
But I think that might be about it. Just the milk. But that's okay. And I don't press him to become vegan or anything, because
right.
I don't like to be pressured about anything myself. Like I don't want to do that to anybody else, Because at the end of the day, I'm choosing the path for me, and like I want it to be peaceful journey,
Okay.
And to have somebody trying to tell me what's the best way to live is not gonna make me feel peaceful. So I'm not gonna do it to somebody else. Because if I do that to somebody else, I'm opening the door for someone else to do it to me, because it's just like that philosophy, like what you put out, you get back, So I just try to respect people's boundaries.
So you must be a hit, like at Christmas parties and New Year's. Like,
a hit? What, with vegans?
Yeah,
Food?
like do other family members be like, what? You're not eating paneer? What's going on? What's the matter? No? They respect.
Yeah, well, you know what? I don't have like a giant family like that. We kind of like a small knit group.
Okay.
So kind of like a small family that we gather for small family gatherings.
Okay.
They all know at this point,
That's good.
One thing that kind of was, ticking my nerves a little bit, like when I first became fully vegan, and they all knew about it, was that they would say like, they would see what I was eating, and they would be like, "Oh, that's that fake meat," you know,
Yeah.
like, like just the term "fake meat" for
Right,
some reason
right.
was like
Right. Touching that nerve.
just touching the nerve just a little bit, and I'm like, "Why you gotta call it fake meat? It's just
Right.
it's plant-based."
That's
you
it.
know?
That's it.
But I guess it is fake meat. You know, maybe that was just my own ego saying,
Right. Right. Right.
"Why you gotta say that?" You know,
Right.
maybe
Right.
that's
exactly.
what it is.
Exactly. Well,
But,
you know, I always thought of also like the different types of food that I eat. There's a whole variety of different types of foods, man. Different flavors. You could fry them, stir fry, and boil them. Everything. Bake it. I mean, everything.
Yeah.
Different textures. It's just a whole world. Like once it
Right.
opened up.
Right.
Oh, you kidding me?
Right.
My wife was making these nori rolls. You know nori rolls?
It's like seaweed, right?
It's like the seaweed
Yeah.
with a pate that was like a salmon pate, but it was made with macadamia nuts and something delicious, bro. Oh my God, delicious. Yep. So yeah, there's a whole world out there. It's not just about eating grass. And
Yeah, I
stuff
agree. I think the world opens up when it opened up when I cut out the meat, because I started to realize, well, I had to get creative at that point. I had to say to myself, okay, what am I gonna eat? Because at first it seems like there's nothing to eat but chicken or beef or, fish or steak or whatever. Like, it seems like those are the main things that we should be eating. And then everything else is like sides. But if I remove that, then I'm like, what am I gonna eat? So I had to think, okay, beans, obvious protein. What else can I eat for protein? Okay, tofu. Yeah, tofu. Tofu grew on me because I figured out that you could season it well. And someone that I know who's a vegan, he says, what is it that you like about the food that you're eating? Is it really the food? Is it the meat? Is it the chicken? Or is it just the way that it's prepared and it's seasoned? And I think that's really what it is. I think if it's cooked well, if the person knows what they're doing, who's cooking it, the food's gonna taste good.
Yeah.
And I've come to know that as a fact because I started eating vegan food and making it taste good, and people that I know make great tasting vegan food too. I'm sure you can also vouch for that,
Exactly. Yeah.
So
yeah. That's great. That's great, man. Lots of choices, lots of benefits. My mind is clearer. I don't have the brain fog. I exercise. I run 12 miles, 15 miles. I do Spartan races, which is extremely competitive.
Yeah.
So.
And you run those 12, 15 miles straight?
Exactly. Yeah. You walk a bit and run. Like you catch your breath and stuff like that. But it's a mental game.
Yeah.
But it gives me all the energy that I need.
Yeah.
So you can get lots of energy from these different foods.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
So we're here just to say some of that it's all right to be vegan. It's okay to be even vegetarian and start to cut out the meat.
Yeah.
And just make better choices.
Yeah. Even speaking about the energy, the whole energy thing, I think, like you say, you derive energy from these foods. One of the things that and you were talking about lower frequencies before about the foods and the meats and stuff. One of the things that I would experience is like feeling tired after eating, or feeling like sluggish,
lethargic,
or not wanting to go do something that I had said I was going to do.
Right.
All of a sudden I want to just like relax and like,
Exactly.
But now when I eat, I feel boosted, an energy boost. And every time I eat now, it's more so to refuel myself, to keep on going through the day. What's my next goal? What's my next objective?
Nice. Nice. As opposed to just eating and plopping yourself in front of the television on the sofa and falling asleep.
Yeah, and you know what? Again, people could do that if they want to do that. That's okay.
Right.
But I used to eat for satisfaction. I used to eat and be like, okay, now I'm gonna eat. Now I'm gonna chill. Now I'm gonna watch whatever I'm watching. I'm gonna sit back, I'm gonna eat this food that tastes good while I'm watching something, so I'm not even focused on what I'm eating, but now I eat less I still eat for satisfaction because I enjoy food that tastes good, but it's more so to treat my body well.
Right.
and not only my body but also my mind, so that I can think clearly. You know, that I can face the world with a mind of clarity, if I can, and be able to produce, you know, and build and engage with people. All of that stuff, you know, is trying to bring it all together, and food is just a big part of that. So
Wow. Wow. Yeah. Food is medicine.
food is medicine.
That's right.
That's right. Sure.
Well, I think that we'll just end it with that, man. Thank you so much for your time. Why don't you let them know again where they can find you?
Yeah, sure. My name is Albert Antomattei again. You can find me Step Forward Artistry on Instagram or stepforwardartistry.com.
That's right. That's right.
I also go by the name of, my business also goes by the name SF Media as well. So you can find me there. Thank you so much for having me today. Appreciate it, Omar.
My pleasure,
Thank you
my
very
pleasure,
much.
brother.
Always a pleasure.
Thank you. And thank you for hanging with us for this long, and let's see what the next guest brings us, man. All right. Peace.
Peace out.